Okay, Dynamite Delight. Now, I want to make this very clear. I am doing a video after this talking about Roman Reigns and what do I think is going to happen in the next coming months. Watch for it. Hopefully you enjoy it because I don't even know what I'm going to be thinking about. But taking away from talking about Roman Reigns, was this go-home show good? There was a lot in it. Impact. If you saw my review of Impact, there was so much crammed into it. It was almost impossible to get everything and not forget something. And I know I forgot something. Here, a lot was going on, and it's easy to forget absolutely everything here unless you're writing it down, taking total notes. I don't want to do that. I want to give you the experience of enjoyment of this show. So, we had Santana Ortiz versus the Best Friends. Now, there was no stipulation here. And I really believe there should have been. Now, I know people are going to say, well, the stipulation was that if Santana Ortiz lost, they got to apologize and replace the minivan of Trent's mom. But it didn't feel like anything. It didn't feel important. They never really brought it up. Now, the match itself, there was no match at first. There was just a total beatdown. And Chuck got his butt kicked, not because Santana Ortiz kicked it, but because he started stacking up chairs for no apparent reason, and then they got thrown into it. That just felt really forced. I don't know why he did that. I just believe it was not necessary in this match. In the end, Santana Ortiz, and I call themselves Pride and Power now, it's just Santana Ortiz, which I find to be way better than PP. But they're going into the Battle Royal. Now I'm going to cover the Battle Royal right here, right now. First, Taz with his team. You get Archer with his mentor of Jake Roberts. Then you got Spears with Tully Blanchard. Then you got, who else came out? It was a lot of people that came out. A lot of people that was angry. A lot of people wanted to show who they were, and then they had a flat-out fight, which I must say, way better than WWE, and I'll explain why. Usually you do this at the end of the show, the WWE. Every single time you know there's going to be some type of battle royal, they're always stupid enough, like the Royal Rumble, to do it at the end of the show, thinking it's going to bring and make interest and hype. I gotta say this, I don't know if anyone else enjoyed this, but I thoroughly enjoyed it because you got to see it picture-in-picture, and it was somewhere in the middle of the show. You got to see the continuing fight that was broken out from it. You don't have to wait and wonder how far it went. You actually got a chance to see it. And yes, eventually they did go to commercial, and it was cleaned up. But you got a good 5 minutes, easily. Which I commend them for doing that. Now, I don't think anybody else is going to enjoy that. They'll probably want to just see a quick thing at the end of the show, and that would have been the end of it because they've been conditioned by the WWE. But me? No. I never liked seeing them do that at the end of every show. There was going to be a battle royal on a pay-per-view. So this I enjoyed. Flat out. No problem. Now, the 8-man tag. SCU with the Private Party. When it comes down to it, when it came to the Bucks and the Jurassic Express, 2 things. And he's in my face. Luchasaurus is money. The man must be driven must be put by himself eventually, and he must be allowed to go for the TNT title or the world title eventually. I want to see him have one of those things. I don't want to see him as a tag team specialist. He eventually's got to go off on his own and win the damn title. That's what I want. You got a lot of big men. Yes, during that beatdown, you got Jake Hager facing a Lance Archer. You got Lance Archer facing I'll talk about them during that. I don't want to bring in Brian Cage and Archer yet. I want to leave that. But you get my point. There's no difference between them and him. Why isn't Luchasaurus going to be pushed? I'm hoping next year he will be pushed by himself because he has money. The second thing was how pissed off the Bucks were because of Adam Hangman Page. They were so pissed. They didn't want to work with the Jurassic Express. They just wanted to beat them so they can get their match at the pay-per-view. That was just it. The match itself was okay. I'm not saying it was bad. I still love Kazarian. And Christopher Daniels, being nearly 50 or over 50, can still go pretty well in the ring. The man can still do some damn flips. Flat out, he still can work. But in the end, the Bucks and Jurassic Express wins. Jurassic Express did not even get a handshake from the Bucks. They just did not want to deal with them. That was the end of that. Now, we had let me put it to you like this. When it came to the match with Y2J the Champion versus Joey Janella. Joey Janella is still the same way. He feels so bad. He should be acting like Shawn Michaels, not saying that he's a hardcore legend. I know they haven't said it often. I'm sure they're doing it on Dark, but I don't want to see him a hardcore legend. If he isn't a hardcore legend, make him the new Shawn Michaels. Make him a bite off, please. Someone. Call him the Janella or the J. Mr. J, that is. Why not do that? Bite him off of the Joker. Mr. J comes out. You can make Sonny Kiss his Harley Quinn. They don't have to be together, but you get my point. Something different. He's still the same. He's boring. And the most important thing was seeing that Orange Cassidy had to be at ringside. Yes, Hager had to tell him, you better be at ringside because the champ wants to see you there. He wants you to see what's about to happen. And the match itself was understandable. You had the champion beating the crap out of Janela. He had to end it. To prove how good he is. Now, seeing that after it was over, you got Sonny Kiss coming out late to try and nail a Chris Jericho or a Jake Hager. Kind of felt a little late. Shouldn't he came out once the fighting had started, and then after he sees the bleeding of his partner, Joey Janela, he runs out quicker than that. Because he came out right at the same time as Orange Cassidy jumped into the ring. Well, actually, he came out after that. So it didn't make any sense for him to come out after that. But seeing that he did come out was fine. Seeing him get his butt kicked by Hager was fine. Seeing that the Orange Cassidy getting his butt kicked after that is fine. That just makes it more interesting. Now, I don't know about anyone else. This is the match I'm most interested in. I just am. I want to see how far they're going to go with this Mimosa match. I want to see it. Now, Sammy Guevara and the Matt Hardy. The Broken One himself. It's been an okay feud. No, it's been a good feud. Actually, I think it's a better feud than most has been in WWE. It has been a good feud. The one who wants to mentor someone else who's under control of somebody else. That's not too bad. Now, the key of this entire situation is that if Matt loses at the pay-per-view, he's gone. And when you watch the segment, well, once you see that Sammy Guevara was doing what he normally does with the cards, and Matt Hardy was watching him from like the rafters, you wonder, will Sammy Guevara change his mind after the match? Because honestly, I don't see Matt Hardy losing here. But it's not the point of him losing or winning. It's about seeing where Sammy Guevara is going to go. I truly believe that Sammy Guevara is going to change after this match. I don't think he's going to be with a Chris Jericho anymore. He's going to be working with Matt Hardy. Yes, Pride and Power is working with him. No, not Pride and Power. I'm not actually thinking about it. I'm thinking about Private Party. Cassidy, as well as Quinn, haven't really been working with him a lot. But I want to see Sammy Guevara work with a Matt Hardy. So I do believe after this match, Sammy Guevara will be changed enough that maybe he'll start seeing that Matt really is in his corner. You never know. You never know. Now, Gundarossa. This was the best match of the night for me personally. It just was. It was. Seeing the NWA champion in a Gundarossa. And I gotta say this. Knowing that Nick Aldis is going up against Mike Bennett, I think it's Elite Wrestling Network. That's Hollywood. West Hollywood Elite Wrestling Network on the 15th. If I can watch it, I'm going to watch it and do a review of that match if I can. But knowing that Gundarossa is there makes me think we should have Nick Aldis show up. He should show up. If she's showing up there, and even if it's just a one-time thing, I want to see Nick Aldis come out with the 10 pounds of gold, Sweet Charlotte, go up against Moxley. Because we've never seen it, and I want to see it. But was the match good against Deke? Now, what was her? Serena. And she was the one that worked with two things with her. One, she had a breast reduction, which I can understand. Not everyone who's heavy-chested is a happy woman. So seeing that she did get her breast reducted, I'm happy for her. She's more comfortable with herself. But I do remember working with CM Punk and also the Gallows. And I gotta tell you this, she could do some good work in the ring. And here she didn't do bad. But here's the problem. Why was it so... You see them in my face wrestling. I just do not believe it was necessary to have such a long match with Gundarossa. Gundarossa shouldn't have had to struggle or have such a lengthy match. Yes, I understand they wanted to show how good she is in her prowess, but I do not agree with that. She should have just destroyed her after 8 minutes. Maybe 9, not more than nearly 10. Stretching it to 8, but 10 minutes almost? No, that was wrong. We want to make her look great, but we don't want to overexpose her, and that's what I felt like they did. They overexposed a Gundarossa. If she's a champion in another company, does not mean that she has to prove herself on AEW. She's a champion of another company for a reason. So I don't agree with that. But she did win, and this is leading into Sheeta going with her on All Out. I cannot wait to see it. I can't. I want to see it. And I'm hoping she does win, even though I know she won't. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Big Swole had her moment. She stated what type of match she wanted. And she wants, what was it again? A tooth and nails match in a dentist's office. Well, at least they're doing something with dentistry. But the role model in a Britt Baker doesn't feel like a damn dentist. She feels like someone who wants to be a dentist. She doesn't act like one. So, Reba brings out a pie. That's in my face if I got the shot. I don't know if I did. But she comes out with a piece of pie for Tony Schiavone, who was actually doing the interview. And it's good to see that Excalibur is back. I didn't say it earlier, but I'm glad he's back. But at that point, you know she was about to get beat up because it was Reba. And she did. And she got the lockjaw put on her. So now Britt Baker's normal and she's ready for the match. Honestly, I'm not interested in this match because I just don't feel Britt Baker. Anybody else who likes her, fine, that's you guys. More power to you, but Britt Baker is not acting like she should be. She should be a damn dentist saying that as a dentist, I'm going to teach you what it means for real, normal, clean, oral hygiene because I'm going to knock your teeth down your throat or knock them out of your mouth. And then I'm going to clean them and they're going to hand them back to you as dentures. So maybe you'll learn to take care of your teeth properly. That's what I think it should be. That's just me, you guys tell me below. finally, the last match of the night, which made my ass laugh. And that was Mark the Lawyer versus Moxley. Now, this isn't the first time we had someone like a lawyer get into a ring and face a real wrestler. But in this situation, it made my it was just funny. For me, it was funny. I enjoyed it. It wasn't much in the substance of it. Seeing Wardlow having to shove this guy around. Seeing that MJF before he went to the ring told him, I waited all my life for this. Since I was a child, I wanted to be world champion. And I will be. And if you don't get into that ring, you will know true terror because I'm going to fuck you up. I'm sorry for the cursing, but I think that's what he really wanted to say. And I gotta say that the censorship was off, and that might have been done on purpose. Because every time when someone said shit, it was them saying shit, and then the bleep was slightly behind it. So I think they did that on purpose, and if they didn't, that was just sloppy production. So I'm taking the first part that they purposely messed up on the censors so people would think that this is a more edgy show. That's just me. In the end, Wardlow kicks a Moxley's ass. The Paragon shift was done. Then Moxley was cheering. He was happy. And then he got his butt kicked by Wardlow. And then he got busted open like Joey Janella by a MJF. And that's how they closed the show with MJF holding the title high. Is this going to be a good match? Yes. Will this mean something? Yes. Is this better than Payback? Yes. Is this better than SummerSlam? Yes. I do believe this will be a better SummerSlam show or Payback show. It's going to be better than both those shows. I don't know by how much. They could still botch it, but if they don't, this will be a very good pay-per-view, which will easily outstrip those two. But it's just me. You guys tell me below how I'm thinking right now about how I'm going to talk about Roman Reigns. I hope you enjoy it when I do it. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.